All right, welcome back to another episode. We're getting ready to do our second bed. Today we planted a bunch of canna lilies and Mexican sunflower in the evening just because it's easier for it to kind of get established there, and I don't want to be out here planting that midday, putting all that stress. Still going to be stressed out today, but it's not going to be nearly stressed if I do it at night. We're coming up on some warmer weather. Also, Mike's going to be irrigating on Tuesdays weekly instead of every other week now, and with that mulch, that's going to help make that water last the full week. Underneath all the mulch, we're seeing a little bit of dry the first top inch, and then the rest of it under there is evenly moist, not sopping wet because of the sandy loam. But for the first step in preparing this bed over here, I'm going to take this hand sickle. If I had a bigger scythe, I'd be using that. Didn't want to necessarily bring out the machete and dull that. So I'll just be cutting it down as close to the base as possible with the hand scythe and then covering it up with mulch. So we're going to be doing all the mulch material in between this pile and about this line right here. We're going to make it pretty thin in between. That's where we're going to be planting annual crops, but we still want to mulch it so that way that area gets pretty moist. Probably do some sorghum Sudan grass and just start that process. For this green material, there's a couple ways that you go about it with the hand scythe. What I found to be most successful, because a lot of it's kind of like twiggy weeds that do well out here in the desert, is usually if you just give it a swack, take off all the branches, just keep giving it a little whacks, and then whenever you get by the root, you just bring this and then you just pull. And that should get rid of that. And I'm still leaving the roots in there intact, so that way they'll continue to feed. And then after this all gets done, it'll be mulch, so it'll be less likely to come back. And then if it does, then I'll just keep hitting it with the hand scythe. So this will be coming with me every time I come out, at least for the full summer. Usually during the winter, everything's a little bit more dormant. But anytime I see some green that's not supposed to be there, I'll just give it a quick, before it goes to seed, I'll just give it a quick cut. So that way it's still creating some biomass, but it's not able to really thrive and then drop more into the seed bank. There's going to be plenty there. There's not going to be any time lapse today, just because I don't want my phone overheating. I got to listen to music while I do this stuff. So I can't record and listen to music at the same time, otherwise I'll be copyright struck. I'm not even monetized anyway. All right, we got some weeds that haven't produced seed heads yet, so what we can use those for is around our trees that aren't doing too well. I don't know if you can see it, there's a eucalyptus in there, so I just kind of created a little basket for it. So I started clearing a couple of the lemon trees over at Mike and Angie's place, and I got a little carried away and did a whole column. Al over there, and I took all the weeds that were standing up around, at least one stance width away, laid them down next to the trees, and so those will break down and then give nitrogen and whatever nutrients that the weeds were mining for, and then that's going to be returned to the soil with the microbes and everything. We need to get a weed eater. This thing's been taking a beating. So is my back. It's broken.